I've been caught out in Africa before with animals waking up just a little bit quicker than I thought.
On this week's Bondi Vet Top 5.
Oh man, he's got some teeth.
They could grab your hand, pull your finger through and bite your finger off.
In the number 5 spot we have...
In Sheffield, South Yorkshire, Scott's been asked to take a detour before he heads home. He's about to investigate an unusual case at the Mayfield Animal Park.
Hi there, hi, I'm Scott the vet. Lucy sent me. Apparently you've got a mischievous meerkat.
Nice to meet you, I'm Andy. This is Sooty.
Hello, Sooty. Well, you don't look like you're misbehaving.
He's not the issue. He's got an older brother that is causing lots of issues.
Okay, sounds ominous.
We'll head inside and we'll see the family group.
Okay. All right, lead the way.
We've got a problem with one of our male meerkats. He's reaching maturity and he's causing a little bit of trouble within the social group. So we need him to sort of come up with a plan of how we can change that and alter that so they can live harmoniously. So this is our family group. They're not as friendly, should we say, as little Sooty that you've met.
Not as friendly? They look very cute and sweet. They don't look like there'll be a problem at all.
Keep your fingers close to your
Right.
body. Yeah. Protect this area. And this
Your
area.
jugular. Oh,
and this
come
area.
off it.
Yeah. We'll work as a team. Yeah, you'll see it. The meerkats are very tenacious. They are very inquisitive. And unfortunately, with intelligence comes aggression.
The only adolescent male in the group, Nguvu, has been terrorising his female family members.
We've got one young man, and he's coming to his own.
Right.
When I say coming to his own, he's reaching sexual maturity in the fact that everything, like a teenage boy, is fascinating him in terms of female form. But the problem is...
We're talking urges, are we?
We certainly are.
Right.
But the only female forms in this group are his sisters or his mum, so we've got an issue.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Obviously, it's completely inappropriate for him to have sexual behaviours towards his family members because inbreeding is a problem. But also for the poor boy, he's sexually frustrated. He is annoyed. He's therefore prone to more fighting. And that also isn't great for his health. So hopefully we'll find something that we can do to calm his urges. In dogs and cats, we would consider neutering them, castrating them to remove their testicles.
Yep.
But I can imagine that these guys are really quite dexterous with their feet.
Quite right,
And
yes.
they clean each other as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of mutual grooming goes on, so that might prove difficult.
Stitches as we close a wound is going to be quite difficult, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really what we need to do then is to, I think, look to some kind of drug, a chemical castration, something that will actually mop up all the testosterone. There's an implant that we can use, pop it under his skin. It'll have about a 12-month action and, you know, that might just fix the problem.
Excellent.
This implant will temporarily cool down Nguvu's urges, but will not affect his long-term ability to breed.
It's a hormonal implant that gives a slow release of a drug that helps to dampen down the production of testosterone, the male hormone that stimulates sexual urges, and hopefully by reducing that down, it'll calm down Nguvu and he'll be a much better behaved son and brother.
Excellent. The male part of me feels it's not quite right, but...
Well, you know why?
Yeah, the keeper part of me does. Yeah.
Well, particularly as this drug is going to make him shrink. So that's a horrifying thought for any man.
Yeah, it's quite right, quite right.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it won't affect him too drastically. The implant is not physically taking away the testes. It will eventually come back, so it's a sort of temporary fix for a long-term problem. And in the end of the day, it's the best thing for the animal. So that's all that's important, really.
But even for keeper Andy, it's hard to tell one meerkat from another.
I think the issue you're going to have is trying to find him amongst all these meerkats.
Yeah, they all seem to look exactly the same.
You should be more worried about the attitude of the meerkats once he started doing the restraint. Those gloves are needed, and he'll find out why.
So you're going to show me how it's done?
I'm going to stand back. I do this a lot. I'm going to let you have a go first.
Wow, thanks, mate. Excellent.
Confidence is key with meerkats. They're very confident, so you need to be very confident. Keep your bare fingers away from them.
Come on, Nguvu, which one are you, mate? It's going to be a guess, isn't it? This one's going to be... Oh, so close.
And don't get too cocky.
Ow, ow. Oh, man, he's got some teeth.
Come on, Nguvu, which one are you, mate? It's going to be a guess, isn't it? Oh, my goodness, trick.
But identifying exactly which one is the adolescent boy is going to be a challenge.
Just one thing I'll warn you about at this point is that when they're scared, they suck their testicles back into their body.
Don't we all? Right, 4 to go.
When Scott finally does track down the Guvu, the young male needs to be chemically castrated to stop his inappropriate advances to the female members of his family.
Not only are the meerkats lightning fast, but when you catch them, they're not impressed. All right. So I'm so glad I listened to Andy when he said, put the gloves on.
You've got a little girl there.
Gee whiz, I tell you what, I'm not doing well, am I?
You are, you're getting there. Unfortunately, he's not had much luck, and none of them are the ones we want.
They're so fast, it's unbelievable.
I think Nguvu is realising what's coming, so he's trying to avoid it.
No.
It takes several attempts before Scott finally gets his man.
Oh, there we go. Okay, let's see. All right, mate. So we've got the testicles there, which is great. You're very healthy, you're very strong.
Nguvu is showing extreme signs of aggression. You can see that it takes 2 of us to restrain the animal, and it shows how much testosterone is pumping through that little system of his.
Okay, I'm just going to take my gloves off to put the implant together.
Even with Andy holding on to the angry meerkat, it's not going to be easy for Scott to administer the implant.
Please don't get me.
Oh, I won't, mate. I won't. The implant is going to just add a slow-release chemical into his body, which will just depress his testosterone production and hopefully give a nice calm and serene feel to the new Nguvu. Good, I can feel that. Good lads. Do we both be angry as well, mate?
I think that positive relationship's gone.
Yeah, he's not going to have a beer down the pub with me now, is he?
Not at all.
Every owner of every animal, whenever we perform a procedure as a vet, they have some sort of follow-up monitoring that they need to do at home. Andy's, it's a bit interesting. It's not something I've asked for before, but I really do need him to take consistent photos of Nguvu's testicles.
That's all right, yeah.
It's so bizarre, I can't actually believe I'm asking it, but if we can see his testicles shrinking, we know the drug is working.
Okay.
And as they start to increase in size again, we know he needs the injection again. But fingers crossed, it won't be for 12 months. Right. Leave your sister and your mum alone. All right.
There we go.
Normally, I find that animals quite like me, but up here in Yorkshire, the chickens poo on me and the meerkats bite me. So I just hope next time round when I come back to Sheffield that the animals don't take another chunk out of me.
Number 4.
Here we go, kids. Get up here. Everybody gets some.
On the outskirts of Sydney, the newest member of the Bondi vet team, Dr. Rob Zammit, is catching up with some hungry friends.
Come on. All gone. I've got none left. No more. As a veterinarian, it's more than just a job. It's a very big part of your life. It's so beautiful.
In a career spanning 50 years, Rob has treated every kind of animal, from cats and dogs to more exotic creatures, like those found here at Zambi Wildlife Retreat.
Come on. There you go. Zambi exists as a retirement home for animals. A lot of them come from zoos as well as circuses. They come here and have a forever home. We look after them and give them a really pleasant final years of life. Hey, Jess.
How you going, Rob?
Good. Gee, they look good in the new house, don't they?
Yeah.
Today, Rob and Zambi team leader Jess will be giving contraceptives to 2 baboons to prevent an unwanted pregnancy in their twilight years.
What are the girls' names?
Pinky, she's the oldest, and then Flash is the younger female.
Watch out for her friend.
First up is Flash, who's been sedated so she can be moved safely to the operating theatre.
Okay, ready to go? You have to be cautious to make sure that no keepers and myself get scratched or bitten. They could grab your hand, pull your finger through and bite your finger off. That's how aggressive they can be. And baboons could harbour diseases like HIV and hepatitis, and they're often transferable to humans. So we're careful. So we'll take the old rod out, contraceptive rod out, and let's make sure it's worked. This is a human implant, and we put it under the skin, and it releases hormones very slowly and stops them from having babies over the next, hopefully, 12 months. So there you go. Ada, if you keep watching her heart rate for me. She's certainly going to need some gas.
7-year-old Flash will be under anaesthetic while the contraceptive is inserted, and Rob is worried about the risks.
The most nerve-wracking thing for me is making sure the animal lives through the procedure when you anaesthetise them. You know, I've got their lives in my hand and I'm sweating. Overdose them because they're only little guys and you could kill them. Ada, if you just keep monitoring for me.
There's the old one.
Take the old one out, put a new one in. Pulse is good.
The 7-year-old is under a general anaesthetic, and Rob doesn't want to keep her asleep any longer than necessary.
I don't like to keep them out too long at all. It's just too dangerous. You've got the worry about breathing. Is his heart rate okay? Your blood pressure all right? It's their life, and I want to make sure it's a happy one for as long as possible here. Okay.
Very good.
Let's do it.
Zambi team leader Jess keeps a close eye on the sanctuary's retired baboons, who came here after spending most of their lives at a zoo or in the circus.
I do have quite a bond with these baboons. We put contraception in these guys yearly because we don't want them to get pregnant. We don't breed here, so we do everything that we can to prevent that.
Just see if you can tease it out. I'll keep working on this end for you. Beautiful. That's it. We've got him out.
With the old contraceptive extracted, Rob works quickly to insert the new one.
It's a human one. It's used extensively in the medical field, but too big for her. So we will halve it and pop it in. Yep, it's going to fit nicely.
Flash's slow-release contraceptive is safely in place.
So we will suture it in like we've always done.
But the team faces a major challenge making sure it stays there.
We've stitched the actual area where the rod's gone in, but these animals will pick them out, especially baboons. She could pull it all out and all this is for nothing. Now, a couple of little tricks. We will make sure that we put some
Extra stitches.
extra sutures in different places. We've stitched where the rod's gone in, but now we're going to put some decoy sutures in. The decoys are because these animals will pick them out. If we have enough decoys and just put local anaesthetic in the ones that we want to keep in, she may leave that in long enough for everything to heal and leave the rod in. With this one, we hope by the time they pick it out, it'll be adhesed in, and hopefully after 10 days, the skin will have healed and we'll be laughing, we hope. One more after this, Jess, and hopefully that'll keep them interested in these rather than the ones that have to heal. Shot of antibiotics and we're ready to go back. Okay, all done. There you go, little darling. No babies for you. That's it for Flash. Pinky next. Let's turn our anaesthetic off.
Next to receive a contraceptive rod is 20-year-old Pinky.
Can't see it on this arm.
She might have pulled it out.
Looks like she has.
If Pinky has removed her birth control pallet, an unplanned pregnancy could put the ageing baboon's life at risk.
Just pop on the side. Pinky is the older animal, and we don't want these older animals being exposed to that sort of health risk, having babies this age. She could die. Might just turn it over and have a good look. Normally exotic animals, we don't desex them quite like cats and dogs. We ensure they don't breed by giving them contraceptions, just like taking the pill.
Oh, there it is. It's just here.
That's moved. Right in. Where'd you find it? There it is, right there. Great. All good.
The team is relieved to discover Pinky's old birth control device is intact.
All good. No baby.
An ultrasound scan confirms Pinky isn't pregnant.
Let's do it.
And Rob and the team get on with the job of inserting a new contraceptive pallet.
slippery little sucker. We'll put these finer ones in. I think I'll put O sutures everywhere else for her. There you go, darling. 4 sutures for you to pick out. Leave the other 2 for me, just for a little while. All right, Pinky, you're all done for another year. Okay, anaesthetic off.
It will take 2 weeks before the danger of picking the birth control rods from their bodies is past.
Baboons are very intelligent animals, and yeah, if they see a suture there that's holding something in, they will try and work their implant out if they can feel it. So we have to be cautious.
2 weeks after surgically inserting contraceptives into Baboon's Flash and Pinky, Rob has returned to find the birth control implants are still in place and their wounds have healed well.
We'll just monitor Pinky and Flash, make sure their recovery is good. These are not young animals. You don't want old animals having babies. Let's enjoy your life and don't worry about the kids anymore.
This week's number 3.
I'm just driving through the Queensland countryside and I'm feeling pretty nostalgic because this is where I fell in love with farming life. We had some family members that had a dairy farm and I used to visit all the time as a kid, so it's just so nice to be back.
Scott is enjoying travelling through familiar territory as he heads to a local farm to help out a vet dealing with some unusual pets.
Yeah, there's a good boy.
Come on, fellas.
At this property in the Queensland town of Texas,
Lorenzo.
hobby farmers Fiona and Peter have 6 lively young bulls.
Come on. The camels are my pets. Come on. They're my babies. They're just the most adorable, affectionate, loving animals you can have.
They're more loyal than dogs. Come on, fellas.
Scott will be meeting experienced camel vet Margie to help with a busy day of surgeries.
Good girl.
Hey, how's it going? Really nice to meet you.
Scott will be rolling up his sleeves to get some hands-on camel experience. These massive beasts are quite a contrast to the smaller domestic pets he usually deals with in the UK.
Hello. Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi.
Scott,
This is Fiona.
Hi Fiona,
Nice
how are
to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Scott, glad to be here.
And here are the boys.
Wow,
Hi,
look
boys.
at those handsome devils. These camels look pretty big. I imagine that as juveniles they'd be a bit smaller. And so yeah, I'm just a little bit nervous. And look, tell us, do they have names? I know that farmers don't like to call their animals names sometimes, but...
Oh, no, they're pets, so they've all got names.
Okay,
We have
introduce
Humphrey
us.
and Ringo, Lorenzo and Andre, Camelot and Tim Tam.
So, unfortunately though, boys, I think we're going to break it to you that they're losing a part of their manhood today.
So today they are going to lose their testicles because at some point when they do grow up, they're going to start to fight.
Well, we can't have that. You boys need to play nicely. Boys, sad to say, we're going to have to get castrating, and it's not Peter.
The time has come. Yeah, don't worry, you'll be right.
He's already been done.
Oh, he's been done. Okay, fine. So, Peter, why do you have camels?
There's a burr called galvanising burr. Nothing will eat it except for camels. I was digging weeds out by hand 7 hours a day, so it saved me a lot of effort and time. They will eat it and they will kill the seeds as it goes through their stomach.
And also, camels and cows or cattle drink out of the same trough. The enzymes in the camel's saliva will bulk up your cattle.
So they help the cattle to break down the food.
Yeah.
Quite a handy animal then.
Yeah. Plus, they're beautiful.
All right, let's go.
There's no shiny veterinary clinic for Scott and Margie to work out of.
What's the stick for?
That's going to be our IV fluid setup. But wait, there's more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rather primitive.
I think something that the small animal vets may not be used to when they come out and work in the field are the elements. The heat, it's windy, it's dusty, and the fact that the animals can kill you.
Come on.
Scott's about to find out just how dangerous camels can be with their first patient, feisty Lorenzo.
Come on. immediately the hackles start to raise and the anxiety and the atmosphere is starting to increase. They're getting a bit thrashy, a bit grumpy. Everyone's a little bit nervous now.
Everything's just gone up a notch. It's now making it a real danger for all of us involved.
He seems to be the alpha, the big guy. Straight away, you go, you know, they could really hurt you. When you're up close to them, you realise just how big they are.
They are actually quite big.
Yeah.
Find his jugular.
Even juvenile camels can weigh hundreds of kilos. So the first step is to sedate and anaesthetise them.
This is where they can injure themselves.
Yeah.
And this is where, if they fall forward, they can injure us as well.
Right, so danger all round. We need to direct them to fall in the right way to be able to perform the castration procedure. And it's actually pretty difficult. They're very long-limbed, aren't they? So it's a long way to fall and also lots of bones to break.
That's exactly right.
And you're sort of trying to lead them to the ground and they're fighting the anaesthetic, but also they're feeling a bit weird as well.
It is definitely the most dangerous part of the whole thing. Okay. Beautiful.
Oh, nicely done.
All right. Under here.
With Lorenzo finally anaesthetised, it's safe for Scott to inspect the job at hand.
For such a big animal, I've seen larger ones on a smaller animal, so I'm not too intimidated.
Popped out the testicle there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cut through that first
Yeah.
layer. It's all the same anatomy, but it's in a slightly different setup. Next up is the emasculators. So what this does is clamp and crush at the same time. Slice through here.
Yep.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
It is.
We've got a beautiful looking wound.
Lovely.
Right, we're done. Spray some antiseptic spray. This helps with any flies, and then he's right to wake up slowly. So we'll just leave you there with him for a minute, Peter, and you guys can talk about, you know, what you've been through.
Yeah.
And we might get on to the next one.
With Peter babysitting a recovering Lorenzo and 5 more castrations to go, it's time for Scott to tackle his first camel castration. But after witnessing Lorenzo's fate,
All right.
next patient Ringo isn't too happy.
Well, if that's how they're talking to each other, I think he might be swearing at us.
Yes, I think so. So you speak camel. You can take the pressure on this one, thank you.
Here we go. Down this way, buddy. Come on. Just try and lay down, mate.
Push down.
Come on.
Wherever his backside ends, that's it, pulling his head, that's perfect.
Good boy.
Thank you, Scott, nice job.
Good boy. That's it. So can you find a couple?
Well, he's got one that's really obvious.
Yeah.
I can only find one that's descended at the moment.
Muggy's having trouble finding the second testicle in Ringo, and having a look, you can see there's one very obvious testicle on one side and nothing much on the other, which is quite worrying because if we can't find the testicle in the field, we need to perform a major surgery.
It's a really tricky procedure. It's a big issue. If it's in the abdomen, that's a really big deal for everyone involved. I have done these procedures in the past in the wild, but the stress level is through the roof and the complications are almost doubled.
Oh, actually, he's just got quite a small one, but I can feel it. I think we'll be okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That was close.
Thank gosh.
Thank God.
Thankfully, feeling a little bit further up the groin, I was able to locate Ringo's testicle. It's a lot smaller, less impressive than the other one, but it's there. And by sort of bringing it down, we're able to then put it back into the scrotum and then remove it. So that's a real bullet dodged. Ooh, we just got a little bit of movement there.
So it's this bit that he might move his little leg for, and the bit where we clamp through that pampiniform. Just give him a tiny top up.
It's part of the worry of doing a procedure outside is, of course, there are a few more variables. And Marg and I are working really well together, just watching each other's back, because your professional life can be over in an instant if you don't take good care when you're dealing with such powerful animals like this. Great. Okay, perfect.
Nailed it. Go, girl.
Thanks.
With Cranky Ringo successfully castrated, Scott and Margie desex 4 more camels.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay. Good boy.
How are we going?
Yeah.
We're nearly done?
That's it, last suture. So
You
that's
kidding?
6 camel castrates done.
Yes.
Well done. This is my first real camel vet experience, and it's been back-breaking work. I have felt at times intimidated, but also really exhilarated.
Hello, mate. Guys, they're looking really good. They're just going to recover now. So a big day, but a good day.
Yeah.
And a job well done from Dr. Scott.
Yes. Wonderful job.
Number 2.
I'm on Kangaroo Island, otherwise known as KI. A 45-minute ferry ride off the coast of South Australia. It's an island famously rich with wildlife. Like other islands, it's a sanctuary from some of the dangers that animals face on the mainland.
Koalas are under serious threat on the mainland, but here on KI, there's too many. And the mad thing is, they're not meant to be here.
A booming fur trade in the 1920s nearly wiped out the koala population in parts of South Australia. In one of the country's earliest conservation efforts, 18 koalas were relocated from French Island in Victoria to the protection of Kangaroo Island. A lack of predators and disease have led to numbers exploding into the tens of thousands. They've done so well, in fact, they're putting enormous pressure on the habitat that they and other wildlife depend on to survive.
The problem is, unlike kangaroos that will regulate their breeding in response to food availability or good times, koalas will keep breeding, even when conditions get bad.
In an effort to protect the island's ecosystem, local rangers have been working hard to try and control the koala population. Team leader Andy has invited me down to show me what's being done. And if I'm lucky, catch a koala or two.
What's the situation here?
Oh, well, we're revisiting this property we visit every few years. There used to be really good stands of manna gummers down the river. Some are looking good, some are not looking so flash.
That's manna right there.
Yeah, that's seen better days.
Or it was.
And others looking a bit better.
I can see some blue gums that are alive, but all of these dead trees are manna directly from koala impact.
Yep, yeah, that's overbrowse from koalas.
And how exactly does the koala kill the tree?
It'll eventually take so many leaves from that tree that it can't photosynthesise anymore. It becomes a bit stressful for the old tree and eventually gives up. Some are lucky, their branches maybe just hold enough leaves that are out of reach.
Yes.
But a good majority we're losing.
Yeah.
It's not just the tree that suffers from overbrowsing. They provide nutrients and shelter for species like the white-naped honeyeater, native bees, and a host of invertebrates down on the ground. Though it's a controversial policy to some, sterilisation of the females has been found to be the best way to control the population.
All right, so what's the plan here today? Are we looking at trees or what's this property?
Well, we've got a mate, he's out, Tyrone, he's out looking for animals at the moment.
Oh, he's scouting for us?
Yeah,
right.
So he's looking high and looking low and seeing what he can find. I think he's found a couple of animals for us, so we'll see if we can catch up with him. We'll give him a call and...
I'll follow you.
All right, away we go.
You found one?
Yeah, just at the top of this tree here.
Look at that. Small?
Yeah, it looks like a girl, I think.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, we'll try and get a rope over this one's top half and we'll flag her down.
Okay, easy as that.
Nothing annoys a koala more than a flapping flag. Holding one above their head helps to guide it down the tree. This means we don't have to physically force them down. Safer for us and less stressful for the koala.
Righto.
Once all the gear is ready, it's time to crack on.
Yeah, branches come down, koalas come down.
You mean there truly are drop bears on KI?
Occasionally they'll jump.
To begin the catch, the koala needs to be secured so it can't climb higher in the tree. If the koala begins to stress or climbs too high, we'll have to call off the catch, which makes a quick procedure crucial.
Yeah,
Almost there. Good.
After a couple of near misses, we got her! With our girl finally secured, all that's left is to corral her down the tree.
In you go. Come on, in you go.
Good. Beautiful. We've definitely got a little girl.
Yep.
So you go bottom in first, hey?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Well done.
Andy and Torrin once caught 18 koalas in a day, but anything in double figures is considered a good number. All depends on the location. The more manna gum in the area, the more koalas they're likely to find.
On down. Let's keep looking.
Okay, where do you reckon?
There's plenty of evidence of koalas around here. You can see that by the state of the trees. But with nothing left to devour, they've clearly moved on. As well as not being able to provide food for the dependent wildlife, a dead or overbrowsed tree runs the risk of becoming so unstable that it eventually uproots and falls over. This can have a big effect on the habitat.
The manna gum, does it just live along the creeks and streams?
Yeah, it tends to be in the lower, flatter areas, like the river flats, the river bends, some of the bracken flats. So any dead ones often end up laying on their side, falling over, pulling away part of the bank, and soil erosion ends up out in the bay, and we've lost another big old tree.
A fallen tree has a twofold effect. For one, the eroded bank adds sediment to the waterway. Not only that, plants and animals that once relied on the tree either move on or die out. Obviously, these are results that rangers want to keep to an absolute minimum on KI. So let's get back to it.
Is this our tree?
Yeah, that's the one. It looks like it must be a favourite tree. A few leaves missing.
Looks like a female.
Only one way to find out. Let's go.
It's a bigger tree than last time.
That's for sure.
This girl is up much higher than the first. To get up to her, one of us is going to have to strap in and scale this enormous tree.
Paper, scissors, rocking here, or are you going up?
Oh, we can rock, paper, scissors if you want.
Oh, I'd rather if you volunteer.
I did the last one. This is yours.
Yeah, right. Good on you, mate.
I can do it.
I've climbed trees before, but I'm pretty sure this isn't Torrin's first rodeo.
No, I've done it a couple of times now.
How many koalas do you think you're up to?
I think we're getting close to 1,000 now.
1,000.
So
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just like before, the aim is to guide our girl down the tree. However, unlike last time, Torrin's donning the ropes and heading 15 metres up into the canopy. The process has been fine-tuned, but an accident is always a possibility, and from that height, that could mean serious injury.
Beauty. Yep.
Well done.
Beautiful. Well done.
Look at that. Definitely a female.
Female, yeah.
Bit ratty, but...
Yeah, she's an old girl.
There's a beautiful, wild female koala. And you can see she's a female. There's no scent gland on the chest and a little pouch down in the middle. Tried to give you a right hook. Ready in the bag?
Yep.
So the bottom in first?
Bottom in first.
Yep.
Just push your head down a little bit. Yeah, good one.
Okay.
Well done.
Oh, that was great. How's Torrin? You coming? Okay. Shall we get her back?
Yeah, we'll do the paperwork for her and she'll be off to the vets.
Okay, no worries. She might be a little annoyed now, but within 24 hours, she'll be back in the trees with a clean bill of health. Seeing a wild koala and catching a wild koala is amazing. And whilst I know she's off for treatment now, I realise that this is a part of a bigger picture. It's about the long-term survival of this island and it having healthy and sustainable ecosystems. This is just a part of that. Right to go?
Yeah, no worries, Tim. Let's go.
I've been out and about helping with the koala management program on Kangaroo Island. Over the past 18 years, it's proved to be a massive success. Sterilising females has seen the population halve, which has taken a lot of pressure off the ecosystem. The operation is quick and painless. Just an overnight stay, and our girls are ready to return home. That's one happy camper. One more to go.
This is her home?
Yep. This is right next to her where she was yesterday.
This is the second and last female, and it's time to let her go. This is her home. Come on, darling. Hello. There you go. Oh, you're not sure. There you go.
That felt good. A management practice was desperately needed. Another option could have been euthanasia, but I don't like that. This way, she's been through a process and is now back up a tree to live a happy life. I think the method that they're using here is a great result for the future of koalas and the environment on Kangaroo Island.
And this week's number one.
Every now and then you get a call to go and help an animal that you just can't refuse, and this is definitely one of those.
Chris has travelled to the vast Shamwari Game Reserve on the southern coast of South Africa. He's been invited to be part of an important elephant conservation program.
Would not believe it, but we're going to make an elephant asleep.
It's all happening now.
Chris is joining doctors Johan Newbear and John O'Brien, and the bull elephant they're searching for today is young, fertile and dangerous.
We need to dart him basically with a dart gun. So we anaesthetize the animal and then we need to do some contraceptive work in it.
So it's still up here?
Yeah, but it's out in the open. You see, when we dart, you know, what we really got to consider is it can take 10-15 minutes for the animal to go down.
Sure.
It can also move a long way in that period of time. So we don't want to do it where it's right, even in the open, but with thicket all around, you know.
You can safely assume that this elephant isn't going to want to have its contraception or have a blood sample taken. And when you're talking about something that's the size of a small truck that can charge you, we have to be so careful here.
Is that him? Okay, this is him, Chris.
Wow.
Is that him? Okay, this is him, Chris.
Wow.
This is the bull we're looking for. You'll see he's got a nice big tear in the top of the right ear.
This 20-year-old male has been singled out for contraception.
There's no doubt that the poaching and killing of elephants has been a huge problem throughout Africa. But in recent years, certain pockets have found their numbers have gone through the roof. Now they're left with two options. You either kill the elephants or use contraception, because if those numbers stay the same, it's just too damaging on the environment.
All right, now you see he's on the bank of the river,
Yep.
and he's going to follow a road that runs parallel to the river. My recommendation is we let him walk to get into the open area on the other side.
Sure.
And we dart him there.
Yeah. So the risk is that if we do it now, that river could be very heads.
Absolutely. If he had to get drowsy and actually go down to the river and fall in, he'll drown.
It's crucial the team gets close enough to dart the elephant so the contraceptive can be administered. But they don't want to spook him.
As with anything, humans, animals, there's this comfort zone. If I had to go too close to him, he would feel that and he'd get grumpy. He'd either run off or he'll turn around and say to us, back off, you know?
All of a sudden, the elephant starts heading away from the river, and Chris now urgently needs to get ready to dart him.
Okay, Chris, would you like to pressurise and then load it?
Yeah. So the plan is just to wait here and see if he heads into an open space there?
Yes, and I think once we're pressurised, I'll go around so that I'm in the open area itself.
Yep. There are a couple of challenges here. I mean, first of all, elephants have incredibly tough skin, so you need to be able to penetrate that with a dart. But you don't want to use so much force that it actually causes injury to that leg.
Thus you can go to the middle of his backside, eh?
Yeah. Okay. Is it a better position now?
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's in the open area.
Okay.
Hopefully it won't run too much once we dart it.
Right.
I'm going to go a bit forward just so that we can get a better shot of his shoulder because the wind moves the dart quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay. The fact is, I've got one shot at this. If something goes wrong, he could turn and charge, and from that distance, a dart ain't going to stop him.
There was a perfect placement.
Didn't like that at all. It looks like it has fired, do you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Johan's checking to see. Did it go in?
It's fine. The plunger is down, so it's fine.
Okay.
He's not happy.
Chris is working alongside the reserve's vets, Dr. Johan Hubert and John O'Brien. Now the elephant has been darted, it's a waiting game for the tranquiliser to take effect.
He seems a little bit agitated too. You can see he's spinning around and shaking his head and flapping his ears. Even though there was only 2 mils of anaesthetic, you can see just how powerful it is. There he goes.
The bull is finally down, but has fallen awkwardly, and now he's in grave danger.
Because of the big stomach, you know, the pressure of the diaphragm, we need to get him sideways.
So essentially crushes his own lungs.
Yeah.
We've got a bit of a problem here. I mean, the way he's sitting like a dog, it's fine for so many other animals, but for an elephant, it means tons and tons of weight are pressing down on his lungs. The fact is we now need to roll him onto his side, otherwise we risk losing him.
It will be impossible for Chris and the other 2 vets to move the 4-ton elephant, so reinforcements are called to help.
Okay, we need you to come in as quick as you can, please.
Yeah, I am coming.
All right. I think we can get out now and check.
Yep.
The big bull is in trouble, and suddenly...
Chris? Sorry, there's elephants running up behind.
Okay.
Sorry guys, back on the vehicle, please.
So is the team.
Yeah, Anya, stay behind it. Let it go past us, please.
The problem we've got right now is that he's sitting in a dangerous position. We need to roll him onto his side. That's where these guys come in, but the problem is that this elephant over here that's circling it and looking quite agitated too. The problem we've got right now is that he's sitting in a dangerous position. We need to roll him onto his side. That's where these guys come in, but the problem is that this elephant over here that's circling it and looking quite agitated too. It's all happening, huh?
The intruder suddenly loses interest.
He's going to join up with the herd.
Yeah.
So he'll go into the bushes. I think we can actually drive a bit closer.
Yep.
Just so we've got the vehicles there for safety. All right, Bruce, we're going to stop putting him over. Eh?
Finally, they can get to the tranquilised elephant.
Wow, it's incredible.
Time is critical. If the huge beast isn't moved quickly, its lungs will be crushed.
That's the dart there. You can see the plunger's right to the top, so he does actually have all of those drugs on board. So that's a comforting sign when you've got this many people around an elephant. It's time to get this elephant on his side, and that means all hands on deck.
But the massive beast won't budge.
There's only one other choice. Bring in the car. It's time to exchange manpower for horsepower.
Say it a bit more, Bruce.
There's only one other choice. Bring in the car. It's time to exchange manpower for horsepower.
If they can't manoeuvre the elephant, it's at risk of crushing its lungs.
Okay, a bit more, Bruce. Okay, whoa. Nice and gentle.
Well done. It's amazing. He's fully out now. All right. Okay, so you can hear the air rushing out this trunk here. This is how he's going to be breathing right now. So just so he can breathe and keep him stable, we just need to keep that nice and straight. Right, so blood samples first?
Yes, yeah, just flap it completely over. There we are.
Oh, it's a big
So what we do is we close the eye, and you've got quite a nice vein to take blood from, eh?
With the elephant stable, it's time to perform some blood tests.
If I miss that, there are serious problems, aren't there? The whole point of this blood test is to measure his testosterone levels. That's the hormone we're trying to suppress, so we need to know its levels before he has the contraception.
So it's almost for two reasons why we're doing this. Is the one that we want to suppress testosterone for the behavior, and the other is almost like trials that we do to see if this is a way of contraception that we can use.
If trials are successful, more bull elephants will be given contraception. This will help control herd numbers in parts of South Africa where they simply can't sustain so many elephants.
He's a bad boy.
He's actually quite a bad boy, quite a naughty one, yeah. We were actually quite fortunate to get him in the open like this.
Yeah. So this might just pull him back into line.
With the blood testosterone level determined, Chris can work out exactly how much contraceptive vaccine to give this young bull.
Right, so in the elephant world, it's the male that goes in the pill. So he's just going to get 5 mils of this drug here. The whole point of this injection is to essentially stop any of that alpha male aggressive or dominant behaviour, but also importantly, it's going to stop him from breeding. Okay. Now that all our work here is done, it's time to wake him up with a reversal agent. Now, I've been caught out in Africa before with animals waking up just a little bit quicker than I thought, so we're not going to take any chances here.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go.
In South Africa, a massive bull elephant is about to wake up after being given a contraceptive.
It's not going to muck around. Within seconds, his eyes are open. He's waking up quickly, but not quite as quickly as a rhino I treated on my last trip to Africa.
Watch out,
Wait.
The rhino woke up far quicker than anticipated, and Chris had to make a run for it.
Yeah, I'd go. I'd go.
Luckily, the rhino called off the chase.
I've got some oxygen.
He's going to get up, eh?
Here we go. Oh, good get, big boy. There we go. He doesn't muck around. There's something majestic and almost spiritual about watching a 4-ton elephant rise to his feet and really become the king of the African savannah once more. And then kind of changes the purity of the moment.
He's quite relaxed. So all's well that ends well, eh?
Yeah. It's just incredible. It's like nothing happened at all. He's back on his feet and ready to go. And all right, away he goes. Mate, thank you. That was very special, Johan. Thank you.
That was a pleasure. Thank you, eh?
Sure, he gave us a few heart palpitations, but to be this close to the biggest of the big 5 has been a real privilege. But also to be able to help out a species that has been under so much pressure is something I'll never forget.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen now to continue watching more great content.